Welcome back to What Arty Noobs with General Disturbance. This is a Grille 15. It's the tier 10, well, I suppose you can call it turreted. It's a Waffenträger type tank destroyer. It's on the German tech tree and it's under the command of Hayseed 1776. And of course we're on Overlord. Well, it's got a 15cm gun. It's based on the hull of a Panther. And this was a project that was sent to Krupp and Rheinmetall. I think Rheinmetall were designing the gun and Krupp were designing the chassis or the hull that was going to be used. It is basically a Waffenträger. The Germans are actually quite interested in Waffenträger, mainly because you could carry an absolutely massive gun, but you were using a hull or a vehicle which was in general supply, so there were plenty of light vehicle carriers such as Panther hulls or Panzer Mark IV hulls, and then you stick a huge gun on top of that and that's your tank destroyer. It meant that the crew were actually in the open and they were vulnerable to enemy fire, especially to small arms fire. But what the hell, they were only crew, they're only humans, they can be replaced. At that time in the war, things were short, and well, that one ricocheted off the top of the Object 430U, as a lot of things do unless you connect with the cupolas. Yes, towards the end of the war, they were in such shortage of vehicles and or equipment that men became secondary. In fact, that's why they eventually started replacing some of the crews with children, because they didn't have fully grown men to actually equip these vehicles, because they'd run out of them, they'd let them get killed. In fact, it was mostly Hitler Youth that they used for these vehicles. Okay, back chat 25 time. Oh, that happens so often if you're playing Tank Destroyer. You see an enemy target, you dial in, and by the time you're fully dialed in, the target's pulled back down, having been spotted. The sixth sense has gone off and they realise, oops, we've been spotted. Well, that Object 430U came over the edge of the ridgeline and didn't hide, because he was actually taking a shot at that moment at one of our teammates. And now he's moving towards us. Coming north, he's going to have to pop up over that ridgeline, or is he? He might stop there and stay below that ridgeline for the moment, start taking pot shots at some of our teammates to the right. But there's a batch at 25 ton coming up behind him, and he takes a huge round for 766, just as the Object 430U took 768. The alpha damage of this gun is 750, penetrating 279mm of armour. It's a particularly efficient weapon, 15cm. But it does have a rather long reload time, of course, 14.54 seconds. Well, it is big. It is a very big gun. You're not looking at a small thing, and that it probably takes two men just to carry the round to put it into the breach. And knowing that the Germans were actually short on metal towards the end of the war, I suspect that they were probably using caseless propellant powder instead, and just had those cartridges which you fill with powder bags to actually propel the shell. Oh, bounced off the top of the Leopard prototype. Yeah, two-part ammunition became the vogue for both the Russians and the Soviets and Germans towards the end of the war, and it's mainly down to the fact the shortage of metals and materials to actually make the cases for the charges. There was no such hindrance for the British or the Americans, because they had plenty of factories, plenty of brass, no problem at all with making cartridge cases. But for the Germans, yeah, they had a general shortage of copper, and that meant that it was difficult for them to make brass. So caseless ammunition it was. And oh, we almost got there for getting the Leopard prototype, but we're now moving south rapidly. He's going to avail himself of this rock Oh, took a round there from another Gorilla 15, but it actually went through the tracks. It was quite lucky there. If that one had hit home, he would have lost a lot of hit points. But he's just going to stay here for the moment. Oh, and a 212A bites the dust. Yeah, don't stick around once the enemies come this far south. If you're an Arty, you need to get out of this area as quickly as you can and potentially head down to the beach. I've noticed the meta is that if the enemy doesn't get stopped at the centre line, they will come down the east side of the map. And so you have to, as an Arty, be prepared to move quick. And if you're in an Arty such as a 212A or a GWE100 like there, yeah, and he's gone, that's a Pascucci's, then you are effectively giving up the game because you're going to get killed very easily when the enemy does break through. You have to stop them at the centre line. If you don't stop them at the centre line, they are going to be heading south. So think about moving the moment the enemy breaks through at the centre line. Well, he's going to stop here for a moment because there's a T10 just up ahead. He's over the ridge line. Doesn't want to break that ridge line until he's ready. Now he could move up to the next house. 2684 over in that direction, who's fairly badly wounded, so he's probably not going to last very long. He's actually elected to go to the south side of that house, which is probably not best because there is the T10, but the T10 wasn't looking at him, and it's a fair exchange because he actually did a lot more damage to the T10. But we now know where that Gorilla 15 is. There he is. He's actually in the chine. And that's going to make it very, very difficult to weed him out of there. He won't be firing at us unless we breach that ridge line. And we're going to have to in order to deal with the T10. There's the T10. He's using the house for cover. Now he's come out. Oh, big mistake, Mr. T10. Big mistake. Hayseed just capitalised on that straight away. There's only two enemies left, so what he might as well do is wait for the Centurion 7-1 and the Object 2684 to get as far south as possible so they distract the Gorilla 15 and then he can move in and take the kill, possibly go after the third Arty for the Dimitri's. But he doesn't really want to come forward until he's... There's the 261. He doesn't want to come forward and then... Oh, well, he's lost the Dimitri's. The Centurions is there, but the Gorilla 15 is not, which tends to make me think that he's actually gone down onto the beach. And he is, yes, he's a little further down. The Centurion dies very quickly. 2684 is going to keep that guy occupied. Now we can move up and go for the kill. That's it. Whilst he's distracted, 2684's got a lot of hit points. Oh, well, yeah, unfortunately he's got also a very quick gun. And he ends the game with a win. Let's have a look at the end of battle stats. Well, it's the second class tank of a Hayseed 1776 in the Gorilla 15. He managed to get a fire effect for getting more damage than hit points of his own vehicle. And he also picked up a Pascucci's medal because he killed two enemy Arty, the 212A and the GWE100. And he got some good damage on the enemy as well, including that T10. But sadly, no others. So I'm afraid just the second class on this one. I think to get a first class, you really have to go some. But he actually did manage to get the highest damage in the game with those shots. 4,021 hit points of damage in total. The next high scorer being the Gorilla 15 on the enemy team with 3,880. And after that, the Charfu 204 with 3,136. When it came to kills, it was Hayseed and the Gorilla 15 on the enemy team. Both had 3 kills each. Then there's 2 kills for the batch at 155.58, I think that is, yes. The Object 268 version 4 and the M48A5 pattern. And that's it. So let's have a look at base. XP goes to the Charfu 204. 968 to him. 889 goes to the Centurion 7-1. And 793 goes to the GW Tiger. I'm afraid Hayseed rather missed out on XP here. 784 for him. I think really the main reason is that he wasn't doing a lot of spotting, but he was actually spotting for himself in these games, and that's why he didn't earn a huge amount, because you earn extra XP if you're there spotting the enemy shots or spotting shots for your teammates. and in this case he wasn't. Let's have a look at detail report. 9 shots fired, 8 direct hits, 6 penetrations and 4,021 hit points of damage, of which 1,994 were at more than 300 meters. He received 3 hits from the enemy. 2 of them were penetrations, 1 non-penetration, and 1 enemy vehicle spotted. One of those pens came, of course, from the T10, and I think the other one, I can't remember who actually got in with the other one, but somebody did. Obviously, the non-penetration came from the Grille 15, who actually hit his wheels rather than hit the body of the hull. 1 enemy vehicle spotted, 5 enemy vehicles damaged and 3 killed, and 191 hit points of spotting assist. So you can see there, not a lot of spotting assists. Whilst the Char Future 4, if you look by comparison, he had 1,945 hit points of spotting assist, and that's why he has the highest base XP, more than Hayseed. With premium count, he earned 31,467 credits, but the ammunition costs, the consumables, repair, yeah, he's actually ended up with a small loss, only a small one, 1,464 credits. It's insignificant, really. It's minor, but he did pick up 784 XP times 4 on this occasion, took away 4,704. So it's not a total loss anyway, because he did get some experience out of it. But just goes to show, the more spotting you do as well, the more likely you're actually going to earn extra XP to put you at the top of the table. But the good thing about the Grille 15 is that gun. It really is hyper accurate, and it does do a lot of damage. And when you do a lot of damage, you only need to do 4, 5, 6 shots in total, and that will earn you a respectable number of credits. But if you do use all the premium consumables and all the premium ammo, then you will find that this thing is difficult to earn a profit with, because the cost of the shells and the premium consumables wipes out any profit you might make. So if you enjoyed that replay, please give this video a like and do subscribe to our channel, and thanks for watching.